The probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view on Bitcoin are higher to still take out this high, but at a later stage we still expect a retracement to come, and in this video I will explain why that is and what you should keep in mind. On my chart you can see an impulse, a 5-wave structure, and after 5 waves we look for a retracement to the downside. Common target for wave 4 is this blue box between 94.4 and 90.5k. In validation, the 618 at 88.7k. Price here touched the blue box, so of course there is the potential to label this the end of 4 and this being a wave 5 to the upside. However, as long as price is sticking around in this range over here, not significantly moving to the upside for wave 5, you have to be aware of a continuation of this range in a bigger wave 4. This is then also your quote-unquote bearish scenario, while your bullish scenario is continuation up in a wave 5. From a trade management point of view, it's very important to be aware of both that bullish and bearish scenario. Now, if price would take out this high, it doesn't immediately mean we're looking for a wave of 5. There's still the potential, of course, for a flat, especially if you only wick this high, because preferably for wave 5, you're going to close multiple candles above the high of your wave 3 and not just see a liquidity grab and a quick move down. This would then preferably be a wave B in a flat ABC, for example. So if you do take out this high, keep a close eye on the reaction. We do have some resistance to the upside, which is noteworthy. The blue box here between 98.2 and 98.4, and the area of support still inside this blue box as well, 90.9 to 91.7k. If we simplify this move to the upside, you can see that at the beginning we had a lot of overlap and sideways price action, so I like to call it a bit of a grinding structure, followed by a quick move towards the upside, supported by an increased amount of volume as well, which is what you like to see. And after you see this, you do like to wait for price to eventually move sideways again and create another grinding structure with a lot of overlap. Now, the moment you see this, after a quick move to the upside, the directional bias from an Elliott Wave point of view is slowly changing from a continuation up to looking for retracements towards the downside. So even without counting all of this in a lot of detail, just purely based on the structure, quick move up followed by a lot of sideways ranging again, the probabilities start to increase to look for retracements at some stage. The most bullish scenario, but not the highest probability scenario, is a multi-1-2, after which you then get a very impulsive wave 3 to the upside. Reason probabilities are lower is because this lower degree wave 1 is longer in time and price than this higher degree wave 1. Preferably a lower degree wave 1 in a multi-1-2 is a little bit shorter in time and price compared to your higher degree wave 1-2, or at least quite equal, but that is not the case, so that affects the probabilities. And even if you are looking for a multi-1-2, then the generally minimum retracement target for this wave 2 is the 382, taken from the start to the end of wave 1, which hasn't yet been touched. Common retracement target is the 05 to the 786. So you're still looking for a retracement basically. Now locally, price has touched the 886 Fibonacci, taken from this high to the low, which is important because it increases probabilities for price to still take out this high at a later stage, because the 886 is a very rare target for a wave 2 and more common for Bs or Xs or any other corrective structure. Besides, in my previous update a couple of days ago, I already mentioned that this structure to the downside looks more corrective than impulsive, and the probabilities in general are higher anyway to see that high taken, but this just confirms the probabilities of the previous video. Now finally, I do like to talk a little bit about some trading psychology, because we are getting close to 100k, and in a couple of live streams I did mention that it would actually be quite interesting to make a high above 100k, because of course 100k is like the psychological level, and if price moves above 100k, preferably with a bit of volume and an impulsive structure, then I'm pretty sure that on the internet and crypto Twitter and whatnot, people will be shouting again about 400k, 300k, 500k, bull market continuation, biggest cycle ever, bloody 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 blah, which can create a very nice amount of liquidity to look for that retracement to the downside. So just be safe that if price moves above 100k, be aware of the areas of resistance here around 102, 103, and then about 105, because from an Elliott Wave point of view, the probabilities are higher to still look for a retracement to the downside. You just don't want to find yourself on the wrong side, right? So if price would move to the upside, of course, we take it step by step and range by range, as I like to say. But be aware that when price crosses that 6-digit level, you might see some stuff online, which is not going to help your trading. We also have some news today, 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Central European time. So make sure you trade safe. It can increase the volatility today. And if we then look at the probabilities, then on a higher time frame, I just label it the 8-hour, we are still looking for a retracement to come instead of just straight pump to the all-time high. On a 1-hour time frame or local lower time frame here, the probabilities remain higher to still take out this high over here. Be aware of the potential of a continuation of the range, but if you do move above 98.3k, then there is that potential to cross 100k to move to 102k. So those are some of the levels locally and also some of the stuff I'm keeping an eye on. My approach is that I'm more interested in longs compared to shorts. But of course, if we do move to the areas of resistance that I mentioned, I will be keeping an eye on the reaction for a potential interest swing short. We'll see what price gives us. I hope that this video was helpful or valuable to you. On the left, you see a video on the simplest way to use and trade Elliott Waves without even counting. And on the right is the Elliott Wave educational playlist to help you understand more about Elliott Waves. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye bye.